Hi guys, so I am bringing you guys a Takealot advice video. Basically on this video I just want to share with you guys let me just go back a bit. I just want to share with you guys the tips and the stuff that I feel like if you want to be successful on Takealot, you would have to do or you'd have to follow. So first of all, I think for you to make money on Takealot, you really have to find bargain in terms of sourcing your stock. That is, if you are going to stock, you need to make sure that you find your stock as cheap as possible so that you are able to make a markup and it's still affordable by your customers, because there is so much competition on the platform. There is so many people that are selling the same thing, and what they do is when the customer searches for something or for a product or an item on the platform, it shows them. So it sort of like shortlist the sellers that have that product, and then it will show you the prices which those sellers are selling it for. And the other thing that our customers look at, other than the price, is the period in which it will take for them to receive it. So if you have noticed, sometimes when you buy something, it shows that you will only get it between 5 to 7 days, and some customers don't want that. You want it available immediately. So if you are competing with sellers that have the product at the warehouse, then it puts you on a disadvantage, even if your price is less, because customers don't want to wait that long for them to get or to receive. So the first thing would be that, to make sure that you've got competitive prices. That would mean that you need to source your prices as cheaper as possible so that you can also sell it as cheaper as possible. And then the next thing is to make sure that you are consistent in sending your stock at the DC, and you follow all the SLA requirements. That is, if they are saying that you need to send the stock or the items to the DC by this date, you need to make sure that it's sent to the DC by that date, because then it affects your profile, and I will come back to that. And then secondly, you find that you have stock but it's not balanced. So you have more stock maybe in Joburg and less stock in Cape Town. Some of the items are in Cape Town but they are not in Joburg, so your stock is not balanced. That is definitely going to affect your profile, and the effects of that are not nice in the long term. That is something that I've learned as well over the period of time. As much as they explain to you when you are doing the training and when you join, but it doesn't make sense. It only makes sense when you are actually experiencing it. But I'll quickly go through that at the end of the video. And then you need to make sure that you fulfill all the orders, and you need to make sure that the stock that you're sending is the right amount. So for instance, what I used to do before, because I was so busy, I didn't have enough time to sort of like do Takealot full time. So what I would do is, before I go and check my stock at home, I would book my shipments, and we find that maybe I commit that I'll be sending 10 makeup brush sets, and when I get home I've got 9. Now I have to send stock that is less than what the shipping load is. So that also affects your profile, and you won't see it today, but you will see it in a long term, and it's going to definitely affect your business. And then the other thing is, if you send stock and then they are not correctly labeled, it's either your labels are faint or your labels are they are unable to scan them, and they have to return back some of the products because they are not packaged correctly. All those things, they are recorded on the system, and you don't see the impact immediately, but you see the impact in a long term, and it can be sometimes irreversible impact, but I'll go to that as well. And the other thing for not following the SLA is that they take away your lead time privileges. So that means that if you don't have the stock at the DC, even if on your shop it indicates that you still have it at hand and on your stock at home, they will still not make it available for customers on the website, because you don't have your your lead time privileges. So having your lead time privileges means you are able to just go onto the system and say, okay, I've got 10 makeup brushes that are in my stock at home, so you can tell customers and I will be able to fulfill the orders within the 7 days that you are given as the seller. But once you have been promising that you will do that, and then you book your shipment or you accept orders, and then by the time that the stock should be at the DC so that they can prepare the orders, your stock is not there, then that also is recorded on your profile, and then it affects your profile. And then the other thing is you need to be actively on the site, see what other people are selling, see the improvements, see the other sellers' descriptions, titles, because you don't want to have something there that is in demand but people can't find it because maybe you have categorized it incorrectly, which is the chances of you doing that are very slim, but it can happen. And then maybe you have the wrong description. If people are looking for let's say maybe for bonnet, and when people go there they search for bonnet, and then maybe yours you are saying it's a sleeping cap or a sleeping hat, whatever, then you have it there, it's on demand, but when people are searching it, the system is unable to pick that up so that it can be pushed to customers, right? And then what happens now, let me go back to what happens if you don't follow the SLA, or how does that affect your profile. So what happens is, once you have been out of stock, the product is showing out of stock on the Takealot portal for a very long time. What Takealot does is they categorize it as if it's not moving, so it's stock or items that are not selling on the platform, so they deactivate it. First of all, they reduce the amount that you can send to the stock. And you find that it's not because you don't have the stock, but it's because maybe you had issues with your courier services, maybe you had issues with your vendor or your supplier, which is the issues that I've had and I've shared with you guys. And then maybe you find that your stock was late or something like that, anything, but Takealot will take it as there is no demand for it. So what they do is they use, I don't know if I'm correct by saying, metrics that count how many of each item you are selling per day or per week or whatever they use, and then they use that to see if your stock is moving. So you see, then it's almost like unfair because you've got the stock and you know it's selling, but then they are categorizing it on the system to say that it's not moving, but you know that you didn't sell it because you didn't have stock, or you had issues with your courier services or anything. So what happens is it's going to sit there, and if anything happens, again they drop it down to say you cannot send it to the DC. That means you can't sell it. So it means that now it's going to be changed to gray, and you will not be able to put it on lead time. You won't be able to replenish that type of or that specific product, which is also not a nice thing. And then it also helps that you keep visiting your store frequently or regularly to see if your stock is balanced, to make sure that you don't break the SLA. You keep your stock in balance. If you've got 10 items in Joburg, you need to have 8 of the same items in Cape Town. But obviously that also is influenced by your logistics company or the courier services that you are using. Do you sell the stuff yourself, or do you send the stuff through the courier services? And the other thing that influences that is how fast can your suppliers send your stock to you, which is something that I've been struggling with again. How have I been struggling with that? Because I would submit my stock with the supplier, and you find that it will take not less than 6 weeks. The earliest that I have received, it would be 4 weeks. But at that time, you don't know how many stock you are going to sell, or you don't know exactly how long that stock is going to last you for. So if it happens that it's a busy week or it's a busy month for you and you sell out, and you are unable to replenish, Takealot is going to take it as there is no demand for what you are selling, and they are going to activate it for you, which is going to be a challenge for your store, because now you will, when the stock arrives, you can't now replenish, so it means you can't really sell, and it just goes worse from there. So my tips would be, make sure that when you are sending your stock, in the DC, you send exactly the stock that is appearing, the number, the quantity that is appearing on your shipping note. You make sure that your barcodes are correct, because when they turn that back, then they penalize you for it. You make sure that if you've got lead time orders, you process them. If possible, when you get them, process them within 24 hours of the order being placed, to make sure that it gets to the DC on time. And again, make sure that your prices are competitive. If you can get the products, the cheaper you get the products, the cheaper you can resell them for. And the other thing, make sure that your products have the information that people can need. The description is correct, the titles of the products are correct, or the product names are correct, so that they are searchable on the system. And make sure that you are familiar with the site, the portal. You are there, you log on, which is something that I have failed to do in the past 6 months. I have not really been consistent. Sometimes I would not even be able to go and check if my payments were done, they were done on time. I noticed for the past two months I've been receiving my payments a day later. So I don't know if there are changes with their payment dates or whatever, but what I'm saying is that is not the good way of managing your business. If you want to make money on the platform, you really need to be active. And I know, as much as I am full-time working, but before I was able to do that, so I'm sure that I can still go back to that and do that, so that I can improve my business, which is something that I'm planning on doing. And the other option as well is for you to run ads. So you will upload your account, and then the amount will show on your account. Then you can use that to buy credits for you to run ads. You see those adverts that you receive, maybe they send you an email to say they've got fragrance sale this week, 75% off. But even those, they are based on, sometimes the ones that I've participated on, they're based on the price. If you're able to offer a lesser price, and it has to be like a good amount that it would mean something to the customers. And as well, if you have the quantity of those products, let's say maybe you've got 1,000 products that you are willing to send out for the discount or the campaign, then they would allow, but they tell you what are the requirements. Some products don't qualify, some products they do qualify. But those are some of the things that you can do to make sure that your business is running smoothly and you are definitely making money. But once again, you guys, what I can tell you is, if you can get to Takealot, please do that. There is a lot of money. There is so much money that you can possibly make as a small business. Most people will not buy from you as an individual. Even if you were to have a website, some people are not going to buy from you directly, just because they don't know you, just because your brand is small. But on that platform, people are buying, people that are verbally saying that they won't buy from you, they are buying from you indirectly, because they're buying from Takealot, and they don't know where that makeup brush is coming from. They don't know whatever that you are selling, where it's coming from. So that is a big advantage. If anything, please consider selling on Takealot, especially if you are somebody that wants to start you want to start something, but you just don't know how to go about it. I would say that join Takealot business. It makes a lot of money, especially if it is managed properly, which is something that I've felt in the past 6 months. But again, I'm going to be doing much better, and I will be coming back with another video to give some tips or anything that I can remember or that I can think of. Honestly, I'll just come in. That's why today I thought, let me just come during my lunchtime, come to the car. I'm at the office, it's lunchtime, I'm inside the car, just to come in here and say what I wanted to say and give you guys these few tips and see if it's something that can definitely help someone. I would be honored if anyone really gets help, even if it's 1 or 2 people. I'll really be honored by that. But otherwise, you guys, I will see you on my next video next week. Thank you so much for watching up to this far. If you've got any questions, please do not forget to leave them down below. I'll come back to you. And if you can see that I'm taking a little bit longer, you're also welcome to send me a DM on my Instagram. I will leave it on the screen down below for you guys to send me a DM. For now, thank you so much. I'll see you on my next video. Bye.